By the end of this video, you will know how to shift into permanent alignment with your ideal reality so that also things happen easier than ever for you, and also you feel like you're more in flow. You feel better along the process of what you're going through and just in life in general. And I look to my own life and I can see that back in 2017 when I wasn't living my ideal reality I was starting towards the middle of 2017, I can see a definite shift in my own energy. I can see a shift in my own mindset, a shift in my own level of accountability with myself. And I did permanently shift back in 2017. If I look back at my life, actually, I shifted in two main times. In 2012, I went through my spiritual awakening where I learned meditation. It completely shifted my life into more alignment, but still probably a little bit of misalignments in there because I was obviously working a job I wasn't passionate about. I didn't feel very empowered at that time. But then in 2017, when I made the choice to go full-time on YouTube by committing to daily videos, which is something I knew I was more passionate about than that of, working that 9-to-5 job, that was also a time that I permanently shifted into a new energy, into a new version of me. So when I'm talking about a permanent shift in vibration, realize first off, it is possible. A lot of times we believe that it's not practical or it's too, we're just positive thinking. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about shifting your sense of reality and aligning more to a version of you that is more worthy, a version of you that has more empowerment, a version of you that is more embodying the ideal version of you. So those are probably the biggest two shifts in my life. From 2012 to 2017, my life shifted because I learned meditation in 2012 and 2017. I committed to the version of me making YouTube videos that you see before you here today after, what has it been now, 3 or 4 years of making videos. So a lot happens in a short period of time. Now, something I've been realizing recently as well, just in general when it comes to my own life, I went to the boat yesterday. I'm in Austin now, so there's cool things to do here, more naturey things. And I went to once a week or once every other week, me and some friends will go on a boat and rent a boat, and we'll go into the middle of the lake and we'll just chill. We'll chill, we'll talk about business, we'll talk about life, we'll just enjoy and kind of deplug from the reactive state that we're all in. And I was with some friends yesterday that we all have online businesses. And what we noticed is that we were all talking, the things that are doing best for us right now are that of things that we're actually passionate about. So what we mean by this is, having this online business, I could do, some big online webinar marketing course, and I could do that and make a lot of money with that. But I'm not passionate about that. I could do a coaching program where people pay, $1,000 or $2,000 and I coach for 8 weeks straight with people. And it's like group coaching. I could do that and make a lot of money. I'm not passionate about it, so I don't do it. But I do know people that do that and they do very well with it because that's what they're passionate about. My buddy Victor, who's also a business partner of mine in Full-Time Purpose, the reason that works so well is he is able to do all the coaching because he loves coaching. And he's able to coach people one-on-one and do group coaching because that's what he loves. Whereas me, I love getting ideas out there. I love marketing. I love getting, people eyeballs on what I'm doing. I like learning social media content. That's my passion, is sharing ideas. So with our dynamic, that's why that works well. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is what Victor and I have been able to do is we each do our zone of genius. There's a book that's called it's called The Big Leap. There's a book called The Big Leap. And in The Big Leap, it talks about how we would be almost leaping into the permanent state of alignment, this new version of ourselves. It doesn't use that terminology at all, but it talks about how the thing that holds us back from making the big leap is what is called the upper limit problem. And we all have an upper limit problem that centers around us, and it's what keeps us playing small. It's what keeps us in our past limiting self. And I and other friends have noticed this as we started to become successful. We start to, in a way, sabotage it where we think, do I deserve this? Can it really be this easy? I've even realized that as I was working really hard in 2017 to create what I've created now, I had this autopilot belief that I always had to work really, really hard and I couldn't really ever enjoy myself. And that was what's called an upper limit problem, where it's like it's trying to keep us in the hard work mentality or trying to keep us from actually evolving. And I've realized now that I can actually do less and get more when that less is in alignment. So the upper limit problem, there's normally like four main things that keep people in the upper limit problem. One is a belief that I am flawed. This is normally also rooted in the vibration of shame. I'm broken, there's something wrong with me. If we believe that, it'll keep us from actually stepping into our dream life or whatever it is to create that permanent shift. For me, back in 2017 is, why would I share ideas on YouTube? I work a 9-to-5 job. I'm not credible. I don't have it all figured out. I don't have the right camera equipment. I don't know how to edit. There's all these reasons and all these beliefs kept me in that 9-to-5 job. And a lot of times we'll have shame just around our own identity. Shame. This is maybe why some people don't shift into an alignment of a positive relationship, is they believe they're broken and they only deserve people that treat them less than good. That's the belief, I am flawed. So shifting into alignment is about becoming aware of these beliefs, becoming aware of these stories, letting them go, and then making the shift. I had to let go of the belief I'm not credible, I don't have it all figured out, and I had to shift into and make a choice about who I am. I made a choice that I am somebody that's making daily videos. I made a choice that this is a more aligned version of me. And once I made that choice, that's when everything changes. Now, the other three, in case you're interested, I'm not going to go over all of them, I'm going to go over all of them, but I'm going to go in extreme detail. But the second one from the upper limit problem is leaving people behind. Have you ever been afraid of leaving a family member or a friend behind? Because if you were to become successful, maybe you're afraid that they wouldn't be around. I think a lot of times this too is from people that maybe had to tune themselves to other people growing up to find safety. So they're afraid of what other people think, how other people feel, because they're afraid that if they feel, they're just afraid of losing that maybe either connection or that sense of safety that comes from that. But I know that, even in my friend group growing up, when I started becoming successful on YouTube, there was a part of me that knew that if I keep focusing on what I'm doing, that eventually it might change my family dynamics, my friend dynamics, because I become focused on different things. And maybe sometimes certain people could be negative influences. If you're around somebody that's devaluing you, telling you, what are you trying to do this for? Who are you trying to prove? It'll rub off on you. So there's times that you actually develop boundaries, and developing boundaries is the key to making a permanent shift in alignment as well. Saying no to things that are actually draining your vibe. That's another one. Another one is we are a burden to the world. So believing that we're a burden to the world, believing that we're going to either burden other people or the world in general. And in a way, I think this is also in a place like I'm unworthy. I'm not worthy. It's like the worthiness wound. And that keeps us from shifting to our dream life. If we believe we're worthy, it's like we don't want to be a nuisance to other people. I even know when I started making YouTube videos, I was like worried, am I going to be annoying? Like I know my energy is very different than maybe some other people. It's very kind of sharper, a little bit more, I have a very loud energy. Am I going to be a burden? Am I going to step on people's toes? I don't want to step on people's toes and people like stuff like that. I remember one time I stepped on this guy I used to go to high school with. He was a cool guy, but I remember one time I stepped on his white shoes. He had like white Nikes, and he got so offended, so mad at me. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. We were walking in a hallway somewhere, and I actually stepped on his shoe. It was a big deal, but I stepped on his toes. I don't want to step on people's toes. See how ridiculous that is? But if we believe that, that'll keep us from living big, from stepping into the true version of ourselves. So that's another one. The other one, fourth one, I identify with a lot. We're afraid of shining our light because we're going to dim other people's light. We're afraid of shining too bright, of shining like a diamond. Now, why would we be afraid of that? Well, the thing I always look back to is childhood shit, right? For me, growing up, I'm the oldest of 6 kids. My parents divorced, and I have half brothers, half sisters, but I have a biological same dad, same mom, brother, and he's 3 years apart. And I remember that I was afraid of the energy coming on at me because it would make him feel small. So I've always been kind of weird around birthdays. Because I knew that he kind of craved that. And I think that I was like the peacemaker growing up because there was so much chaos with parents being divorced and stuff like that. And especially like my ex-stepmom and stuff. So I'd take the attention away from me and put it on him. And I noticed that as I'm making videos, as I'm like going out into the world, it's like sometimes I might be afraid of shining too bright because maybe it makes other people feel small. I know sometimes, honestly, I don't share all the aspects of my life because I'm afraid that might trigger people. You know, if I share and I do sometimes, I guess, I talk about some of the things I go through in my life, but like my house and my pool and all this stuff, like there's a part of me that either wants to make sure that it's not my ego that wants to share that, because back in the day, I would have like shared my YouTube plaque or something, been like, look, don't you see I'm worthy? I have 1 million followers on YouTube. Like it was coming from a different energy. But even now, sometimes it's like actually stuff maybe I want to share, but I hold myself back because is this gonna reflect back to people that, you know, that they're not where I am or something like that, you know? And I'm realizing I should just do what the hell I want to do, you know? But those are all like the 4 fundamental things that keep us in that upper limit problem, that keep us like in a certain box of comfortability. Now, shifting into permanent alignment is about identifying your zone of genius. If you can live in your zone of genius more often, that's going to not only lead you to more success, but that's going to lead you to more happiness because you're going to enjoy the process along the way. This is something I've been kind of looking at because I'm also right now in the process of gaining muscle. Like I'm doing 2 things right now. I go through times of when what gets measured gets managed. So basically, I went through it 6 to 8 months ago. I lost 20 pounds because I was eating a lot. I was going through a lot of shadow work and I gained a lot of fat. I wasn't like fat, but I was chunky. I had a gut. I was talking to a friend at the boat yesterday, and he remembers when I talked to him like a year ago, we were talking about stuff, and I remember I had a gut, you know? And then I lost 20 pounds. And to lose those 20 pounds, I was riding my bike a lot and I became kind of like very particular with the food that I put into my body. I was measuring everything. I had a scale. I was counting all the calories and all that. It's not the funnest thing to do, but awareness is key. I became aware that I was eating way too much calories and I wasn't moving around as much. So then I lost all that weight. Well, then what happened is I got extremely shredded. I got extremely fit. I have this like photo from Tulum that I posted, and I remember working out at the Tulum gym in Mexico, you know, Tulum, Mexico. And this is an outdoor gym. And I remember looking in the mirror when I was doing deadlifts, and I could see the veins going down my whole body, like down. I could see through. That's how vascular or how like lean I was. There's like, I think I was probably at about like 9% body fat, maybe less. I go to DEXA scan and it said like 9.5% body fat, but I got a little bit leaner than that, but DEXA isn't completely accurate. But anyways, long story short, I got extremely shredded. Then what happened is I realized I wanted to gain muscle. I was like, man, I don't have as much muscle on my frame as I'd like. I never really went through a phase where I focused on gaining muscle, so I started doing that. But I was still in the fear mode. The upper limit problem for me was the fear that if I start eating in a slight surplus, which means I'm eating, say my maintenance calories is 2,500 a day. If I'm eating 2,600 calories a day, which is ideal, I guess, for gaining muscle, you know, and pushing it at the gym, I'm afraid that 100 extra calories a day is going to help me, I'm going to get fat. And because I was afraid I'm going to get fat, guess what? I would like take one step forward and I would start eating a little bit more, but then I would start working out more because I'm afraid I'm going to get fat. It was this weird, it happens a lot. Could be like a form of body dysmorphia. I was like afraid of gaining fat because I was afraid that the next day I was going to wake up as the bigger version of me 6 to 8 months ago, which is not the case. It takes a long time. It takes like time for that to happen, you know? But basically, here's what I've realized recently. There's a reason I'm sharing all this, by the way. What I've realized recently is, and then what happened is I moved from Sedona to here, and I started eating whatever I want again. And as I started eating whatever I want, I didn't get fat, but I got a lot more pudgy, a little bit more fat on me. And I'm now realizing that what I want to do is I want to cut down a little bit, and then I want to go into a lean bulking mode where I gain like 5 or 10 pounds of muscle over the course of the next couple of years. So that's like my focus, right? But what I'm now realizing, and now I'm becoming aware of, is can I enjoy the process along the way instead of being in like a deficit, which means I'm putting in less calories than I'm putting out, which means you can feel when you're in a deficit. What if I was to eat at maintenance, which means I'm eating at 2,500 calories, and there's something called recomposition where I'm building muscle and losing fat at the same time. Now, this takes extraordinarily longer than that of if I were to like bulk and then cut. So like eat in a surplus and then cut. But I would enjoy the process along the way more, because then I don't have to look forward to a big cut phase where I'm in a deficit for like a month and a half or 2 months. So I know I just explained that whole analogy, but the lesson that I'm learning in my own life is that what if I'm a little bit more patient, but what if I actually enjoy the process along the way? Now that gets me into another part of this today's episode I want to talk about. Your zone of genius is what you love to do. When I started in 2017 making daily videos, I started doing what I loved more often. I got rewarded for that, and I was also adding value into the world. Now, what I've realized is I'm getting ready to move into like a new phase where I almost have to let go of the YouTuber version of me that's just making videos all the time and just kind of like, living from the internet, working in internet business. I want to start doing in-person live events. And right now, my buddy Victor and I, we're creating one for full-time purpose where we show people how to go full-time doing what they love. And we think we're going to do it in February of here in Austin. And we're excited to do this, but we're realizing that what is the thing that we're most passionate about? Because if we do the thing we're the most passionate about, that's going to do the best. Not only is it going to make more money, but we're going to enjoy it. It's going to be more fun. So the thing that we're looking at is when we're asking ourselves, we're not asking what would make the most money. That's an outcome. We're asking ourselves, what would we enjoy the most and what would give people the most positive effect? So what I've realized for me the key to a lot of what I'm sharing today is less. Let go of excess. Let go of more shit and realize that is the key to more. Less is more. When you let go of the labels, the old identities, the positions of the past, and you let go of these things, you then make room for more, but then also you can get more clear on what that alignment is for you. For me, right now, it is making these videos, and it is me doing more live interactive things, which is the goal, which is what I'm going to be doing. So I focus more on that. How can I do more lives? Can I go live on YouTube? Can I go live and interact with people on Instagram? How can I go live more often? Because that's what I'm passionate about. And I know that's closer to my zone of genius because I know that I'm more of a genius. We all have a zone of genius. I'm being sarcastic here, but we all have a zone of genius of the thing that really lights us up. I get lit up when I'm interacting with people and I'm doing live events more so than when I'm just talking in front of a camera. And you'll feel that. You'll see when I start doing live events, I'll post them on YouTube, little clips of it. You'll see my energy is very different. So this is something that I want to encourage you to look at as well. Now, one thing that also I've learned about this is do one thing at a time to be in alignment. Right now, I'm making this video. Right meow, I'm making this video. Right meow, I'm making this video. But I'm not making this video because I think it's going to get a shit ton of views. I'm not making this video right now because I think that that's an outcome. Now, what I've learned is focus more on the behavior. Now, you still have an idea of the outcome, but you focus more on the behavior than anything else. You focus more on getting to the flow state. What if instead of focused on getting, this video getting 100,000 views, what if I focused on making an amazing video that adds value to people? You see the difference there? One's the outcome, and one is actually, if I focus on making the better videos, then maybe that comes. The 100,000 views come. Maybe not. I'm not attached to the outcome though. If I was attached to the outcome, you'd feel my energy. I was listening recently to an interview, little fuzzy thing. I was listening to an interview of Mr. Beast the other day. Mr. Beast is one of the biggest YouTubers, and he's an amazing content creator. He does these crazy challenges, and he's just scaling his company in a completely way where he's going to be bigger than PewDiePie on YouTube. His goal is to be the number one YouTuber, but you want to know what he said? I watched a 2-hour interview with him. You want to know what he said probably 100 times during this interview? His one thing, remember, it's not many things. His one thing is, I just want to make the best videos possible. I just want to make the best videos possible. I just want to make the most engaging, best videos possible. I just want to make the best video. He just kept saying that. That was his answer to everything. His one thing is making videos. When I started doing amazing on YouTube, you want to know what it does? You want to know what it was? I went daily on YouTube, and all I did was YouTube. I focused on YouTube, making YouTube videos, adding value, making these different content. Sometimes I'd make 3 videos a day on YouTube. That's all I focused on. Then my business started to get bigger. Then I started to make more money. And then it's like, okay, now there's YouTube. Now there's Instagram. Now there's TikTok. Now there's courses. Now there's these challenges that I'm doing. Now there's this full-time purpose thing. Like there's all of these things now that takes away from my one thing. So what I'm realizing right now is that I want to start doing live events. That's going to be my one thing. And then I need a system, a team in place that helps me to repurpose all this live stuff into videos that go on YouTube and stuff like that. Maybe podcast episodes, maybe interactions I have with people that are in like my groups and stuff. Like this is going to be my one thing. But remember, it's less is more. But I'm going to focus more on like throwing and having the best events possible. But not the idea of I need 5,000 people at my events and I need to make $1 million. Like that's an outcome. A lot of the times we focus, the reason we're not in alignment is because we're focused on outcomes, not the behavior of being in the moment. If I'm making this video right now and I'm like, I hope it gets so many views. I hope it really does well. That's the outcome. No. If I'm enjoying the process more and I'm in alignment with making a great video that adds value, a side effect may be a lot of views. Maybe not, but I'm not attached. Do you see what I mean? The difference here is permanent state of alignment is identifying the most aligned version of you, using your imagination and making a choice right now that that's who you are. If you're ready to make that choice right now, can you like this video? Subscribe below if you haven't. This is what this channel is all about. It's about aligning in a practical way, not woo-woo ways, but it's about letting go. Less is more. Let go to let in. And you let go of all these things that you're doing. You focus on that one thing. And if you don't know what it is, make that your one thing. Finding out what you're actually passionate about. Study books, read books, see what you naturally look at, you naturally focus on. Try new things. Get out of your comfort zone. Remember, the upper limit problem will keep you doing things you don't want to do. The answer is to get into your zone of genius. Zone of genius. My question to all of you is, what is your zone of genius? Comment below. Let me know your zone of genius. Claim it right now and say, I commit to this zone of genius, whatever that is. And other than that, I'll see you on the next video. Peace. Much love and namaste.